YouTube, Zulma Gonzalez. And this mic is all yours.
I bid you a very thankful Thursday. Thankful Thursday to each and every only one of us. Thankful, thankful, thankful. Gratitude is the word of the day. Faith and gratitude are the words of the day. I am not feeling my best today, and I was listening to Dove just before this, talking about how we bring these experiences to ourselves. And the question always is, what's the lesson in remembering that all things are lessons that God would have me learn? The question is, what's the lesson? I think I'm going to start with a song so I can get myself, oh, I have to hit the other thing. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Um, Share screen. Where's the share sound button?
In the lower left-hand corner.
Actually, no. It says select the window. It says share. I hit share. It's doing the same thing again. No, actually, it doesn't say that. It used to say share sound.
Let me
Okay,
see.
so
Yeah, if you
oh,
just
there it is. I see it. I found it. I
okay,
found
okay,
it.
good.
I found it.
You're freaking me
Okay.
out, Zulma. I'm thinking something's gone wrong with
Freaking myself out. Freaking myself out today. I don't know where I am at the moment. So I'm gonna start with off of the next song. I'll start to play without my permission. All right, there we go. Ah, so family. Um, the course teaches that not to be upset or worried because stuff happens. Let me find that. It's actually in the manual. I believe it's number 24. Um, no, actually, it's not. I have no idea where it is. Um, Maybe it's number 14. I don't know. I'm trying to pull it together today, family. I'm trying to pull it together today. I'm uh, um it says something about um in order to be a savior. It's in the manual. It talks about in order to be a savior. It's in number 25. Okay. Um, the last paragraph of I'm going to share screen. In the last paragraph of number 25, can God be reached? 26. Can God be reached directly? The question is asked, or it says, do not despair then because of limitations. It is your function to escape from them, but not to be without them. If you would be heard by those who suffer, you must speak their language. If you would be a savior, you must understand what needs to be escaped. Salvation is not theoretical. Behold the problem, ask for the answer, and then accept it where it comes. So we're talking about acceptance here. the importance of acceptance, to see things exactly as they are, to let all things be exactly as they are, and recognize that any thoughts and feelings that I attach to it are just that, my own thoughts and my own feelings. And they're always wrong. It's always incomplete. There's always more to the picture than I make of it. Always. The Course continues. It says, behold the problem, ask for the answer, then accept it as it comes. Nor will its coming be long delayed. All the help you can accept. So it's only as much as we choose to accept. We keep thinking sometimes that, well, I keep thinking sometimes that the problem is not being, the question is not being answered, that the prayer is not being answered, that the problem is not being solved, that can't get past the problem, or but all the help you can accept will be provided. That's key again. We're talking about acceptance. And not one need you have will not be met. Let us not then be too concerned with goals for which you are not ready. God takes you where you are. God takes me. Life takes me. Love takes me. Truth takes me where I am. Love takes you where you are and welcomes you. And then the question, what more could you desire? What more could I desire when this is all we need? Let's go. I'm trying to bring myself to a place of calm here. Ah, and let's begin as we always do. Where's the share button? To mind our mind. To mind our mind. Mind my mind. Dr. Ernest Holmes teaches that to learn how to think is to learn how to live. Because our problem is we really don't know how to think. We perceive ourselves as victims, or we perceive others as victims. We see life doing things that we don't want, and we think, this is wrong, God. This is wrong. No, 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 no. To learn how to think rightly is to learn how to live. The Course reminds us that this is a course in mind training, and that all learning involves attention and study at some level, because an untrained mind can accomplish nothing. And there's moments when you think you have it all together. I just need to say, I wasn't crying when I first came on. um, and when Dove said that about the lesson, for some reason it took me to this place. Dr. Ernest says that thoughts and things are but two ends of the same proposition. And since it is impossible to stop thinking, God knows sometimes I wish I could stop thinking. But since it is impossible to stop thinking, we cannot stop creating. We cannot stop making things up. We just can't. We can't, because as the Course teaches, all thought produces form at some level. Our choice is whether or not to think, to create constructively, that is, to create through the Holy Spirit thought system, or destructively from the ego thought system, where we're making things up, where we're focusing on the past or the future and not being present. And the reminder that the kingdom of heaven is within. Actually, the Course teaches the kingdom of heaven is you. And that whoever shall know himself shall find himself. And that is the goal of the Course, is to know thyself. The aim of the Course is to know thyself. Regardless of the teacher, is to know thyself. I'm going to share the Optimist Creed from Christian D. Larson. Christian Larson was the first teacher that Ernest Holmes read, um, which which is where his shift in focus went from Christian Science that Mary Baker Eddy was teaching to what is now referred to as religious science, science of mind. He um, so Dr. Ernest's focus is always about recognizing the best that you are, recognizing the God that you are, and living accordingly, living your best self. In the Bible is written that Jesus said came to give life and that more abundantly. In the course, it talks about being magnanimous, recognizing our magnitude and not our littleness. So, so Dr. Ernest made the switch from Mary Baker Eddy's teaching, primarily Eddy's teaching, and Christian Science to Jim Larson's teachings. And he calls it the Optimist. He has a book by the same title, which is an anthology of several of his books. The first book that Dr. Ernest read by Christian Larson was titled "The Ideal Made Real," and I think you can find it as a PDF online. If anybody's interested in it, let me know. I can send it to them. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. And in the course, in review one, it talks about um, us being the peace and then how we need our training most. We need this most when when things seem to be so difficult. And Christian Larson continues to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. And I have to admit that's was a bit difficult yesterday. I made a phone call after I had received some news that I didn't like. um, and I made a phone call, and how do you? No, it's not even a question. I didn't know how to. I didn't know exactly how to respond to the statement. Well, that's it. I'm dying. And I paused. I'm still pausing. I'm still pausing. And I reminded my sister what my niece had told me back in 2004 when my sister Isabel had told me that the cancer she had was terminal. And I said to my sister Jelly yesterday, I said, sis, you're not dying with this, you're living with this. And she didn't want to hear it. And even as I was saying it, it took a minute to not jump into the future for the inevitable. For the inevitable. Anyway, and Christian Larson continues to make all your friends feel that there is something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To look at the sunny side of everything is to give thanks. In the Bible is written, In all things, give thanks, not for all things, not for all things. I cannot possibly give thanks for the stuff that's going on around me because it's not happening to me, but to be grateful in every situation, to be grateful for the beauty and the love and the laughter, certainly the laughter that my sister has brought to my world. Giving thanks that she may be given options, that she may be going to Texas to be with my nephew. You've heard about that nephew. That's the one that my best friend since third grade, met back in February of last year. They've been a couple, and my friend Debbie, she's taking care of her 101-year-old mother, who is amazing, Miss Mary. Anyway, but she may be given this option. She's been given this option to go through another round of chemo, which would prolong her life for a couple more months. Anyway, to look at the sunny side of everything, to give thanks in everything, in all situations, to give thanks, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. And we're taught in religious science about the highest and the best, that when I pray, that I pray only for the highest and the best, not for the specifics, not for the specifics. I'm not in charge of the specifics. I'm not in charge of the outlining. God does the outlining. I don't know the outlines. If I plant apple seeds, I don't know how many apples. I could plant 12 seeds. That doesn't mean I'm going to get 12 apples. I don't know. I don't know what size apples I'm going to get. I can only expect that I am going to get apples. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times. I guess it's supposed to be times. At all times. And give every living creature you meet a smile. So I'm smiling through my tears. I am. I'm smiling through. Remembering the laughter, remembering the years and years and years of conversations and stories. She's a feisty one, that one. And her stories always have humor attached to them in some way or another. Excuse me. Um, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. That's big. The course teaches that um, we just don't realize how wonderful it is to, if we meet ourselves and our brothers without judgment, because my judgments are just my opinions, my thoughts, my ideas, my views, my everything. It has nothing to do with anything, even about myself. My thoughts about myself are not my real thoughts, because my thoughts about myself are, first of all, it's a small self. It's not like my capital S self. My thoughts about myself are what have me in tears right now. My thoughts about my sister are what have me in tears right now. I didn't plan on, this wasn't it when I first came here. Dub, I'm gonna blame this one on you. Oh, he left the room just as well. um, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Because the truth is that all things, what could I not expect if I just recognized, if I knew, if I understood that all things are gently planned by the one who only means it for my good. Regardless of how I see it, there's nothing for me to worry about, and I'm not worried. I have to say I'm not worried. In that I get it is what it is. I won't say I'm too happy at the moment. I won't. I can't. I can't. Yes, Gloria, go ahead, please.
Hi, dear one. As you were speaking, I was just thinking about something I read from the Heart of Mysticism on the 55 Infinite Way letters. And it's coming through as a paragraph, but it says the above wisdom was written by an anonymous Confederate soldier almost 100 years ago. And he was speaking about how many men have acquired and accomplished all things their ambitions set out for them, and yet were unhappy and dissatisfied, and often ended in despair and destruction. And we know when we turn our mind to the ego, we're in destruction. And the prayer went like this: I ask God for strength that I might achieve. I was made weak that I might learn humbly to obey. I asked for help that I might do greater things. I was given infirmity that I might do better things. I asked for riches that I might be happy. I was given poverty that I might be wise. I asked for power that I might have the praise of men. I was given weakness that I might feel the need of God. I asked for all things that I might enjoy life. I was given life that I might enjoy all things. I
Wow.
got nothing that I asked for, but everything that I hoped for. Almost despite myself, my unspoken prayers were answered. I am among all men most richly blessed. And I think that really capsulizes that we really never know what anything is for. And ultimately, we know that there's the one unending, undying life of God. And we're all here to return to that. And of course, on the level of the world, we miss our friends that are not seemingly in form anymore, but we know that that presence is always with us. And that's why I always refer to my near-death experience as my near-life experience, because it gave me that gift and that offering to come back here in that awareness of presence and recognizing that the undying spirit of God never dies. And that's what we all are in oneness. Thanks.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you. I like that one line I was given all life that I may experience everything. I like that. And I have number 55. I bought the book. I bought the book. So I'll have to find that what page it is in the book that I have. Thank you so much for that.
Love you. You're not
I
alone.
love you. Thank you. Thank you. Christian Larson continues to think well of yourself and to proclaim this fact to the world, not in loud words, but in great deeds. I think I'm going to go to New York on Monday. I'm going to try to take the bus. I think I'm going to take the bus this time. I'm not taking the bus. I'm not taking Lovable. I'm not taking the car. Did I tell you I got a $115 parking ticket when I was in New York last time? $115. So I'm going to take the I'm going to take the bus and see if I can hurry up and get over there to her before she goes to Texas, if that's what she's going to do. And I'm not going to worry about what to say or what to do because the one who's sending me is going to guide me. I'm just going to go. Just going to go. Just going to go see my sister. To live in the faith that the whole world is on your side as long as you are true to the best that is in you. And that is the Optimist Creed by Christian D. Larson. I came across this book, actually. I was at Reverend Sheila's house one day. Reverend Sheila Pierce was the founding minister of the Center of Peace, a way shower. Oh my God, a way shower. And we were at her home for a party because she would, during the holidays, a couple times a year, she would invite people over. She would start with her practitioners first, and at the time I wasn't a practitioner in training, so but she would start with us, and then she would invite others over throughout the day. And throughout the day, members of the congregation would come in and go out, and come in and go out. Just a fun time, a fun time. Reverend Sheila made wine. It was the nastiest stuff I'd ever tasted. And we tasted it. She tasted it. She says, "Oh, this is horrible." She said, "What do you think?" I said, "I agree. It's horrible." So I said to her, says, "What are you gonna do?" She said, well, maybe if I add some water to it." I said, "No, no, no." I said, "That's not the way it works." I said, "It's written that Jesus turned water into wine, not wine into water." Just a moment that came to me. Anyway, that's how I came across this book, The Optimist Creed. Um, to talk about faith a little bit, and I would really appreciate anyone and everyone who would join me today, because I just don't know where this is going. I'm gonna read the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lori. Thank you. Lori says she sees the Christ in me, and the part that's hurting is okay to be expressed, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, because those of you who know me know that there's no other way with me. I can't not be. I can't not feel. I can't not let myself feel. I can't not let myself express. And Regis has said many, many times, I think I saw him here. Hey, little brother. He has said many, many times, and then of course it says it too. It says, it's not that we're not to feel what we feel, regardless of whether we think it's quote, quote, good or good, quote, quote, bad, recognizing that it's all God. It's all God. And the Course teaches us not, the Holy Spirit doesn't ask that we don't, express it. It's just that we don't keep it. Um, so the only way for me to get rid of it is to get rid of it. I can't hold on to it because, yeah, I can't. I can't. Um, yeah, Dove had written that only God knows how many apples in the single seed. Yep. And then he says, and that's the ego speaking. God doesn't count apples. God doesn't count apples. That's too funny. Yeah, all right. I'll go with that. Um, and Dove continues, I am always speaking about myself. You can write that on my tombstone, and I won't be having a tombstone. Thanks, Dove. Thanks. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh my God. That's too funny. That's too funny. Um, and yes, Gloria, and it wouldn't be healing to deny my feeling. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Faith from the Bible is the evidence of things not seen. It says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Um, Hope to me, you say, "Oh, I hope so. I hope so." It's almost like I don't believe it. I don't know it. I don't have any faith in it. To me, that's how it sounds to me. Oh, I hope so. Can you imagine going into all this prayer? Oh, and you're so into all this conviction, supposedly, all this conviction and all this believing and all this knowing, actually, and then turn around and say, "Well, I hope so." See, that's that. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Ernest Holmes writes, "Learn to exchange fears, doubt, and uncertainties for faith. Faith can make you whole." And to say that can make as if it's a future thing, That's talking to the ego, of course, because we are already whole. It's coming to the place of understanding and recognizing and knowing exactly that we're already whole, that there's nothing missing, there's nothing absent in anything, in anyone, there's nothing absent. Nothing is missing. Everything is exactly as it is. There's nothing missing. And for me to think so, or for me to try to put my spin on it is fantasy. It's distortion. It's illusion. It's saying, God, you're making a mistake. And in God, there are no mistakes. In God, there are no mistakes. Faith can convert fear into certainty, poverty into riches, dis-ease into health, which is in part what Glorian read. I knew what Glorian read is spelled exactly like that with a D instead of a GL. Uh, uh, Faith can lift you from a valley of despair. Hello, please, thank you. Faith can lift you from a valley of despair into a mountain of hope. Oh, there's that word again. And certainty, into a mountain of certainty. To know that anything and everyone that I see here, anything that's tangible, anything that I can see, hear, smell, taste, or touch is temporary. And for me to believe otherwise is delusion. That's the Antichrist. That's idol worship. That's to look at a body and expect that body to be here ever. I don't know anyone that I've known that stayed as yet. And I used to say, well, I've said, I kind of think it's to have an idea of when the body's gonna, my body's gonna stop doing what it's doing. I've said that that's a good thing as opposed to, always living in the unknown. But the fact is that the unknown is the future. And if I sound like I'm talking in circles, bear with me because I'm talking in circles today. Um, yeah, to the unknown is unknown. So what is there to be afraid of? When I fear what I don't know? How ridiculous is that? That's ridiculous. I remember my sister Elena talking about how she was afraid, and I said, "What are you afraid of?" Because I don't know. What are you afraid of? That was before she passed. And I believe that if it's only the moment, the very moment before the physical body ceases to be, that the fear is gone. Whatever fear may have been, that it's gone. Otherwise, they couldn't have let go. My mother was scared to death. I put that in quotation marks. She was deathly afraid. She didn't want to die. She just didn't want to die. And mommy, we had started studying the course together. And I was explaining to her that there is no death. And of course, she was asking bodily questions. Um, and I was giving her spiritual answers. Oh, that was a gift. But even to the last physical day, I wasn't reading the course to her. But up until that point, from the 21st of April on to the 4th of May, um, I was just reading the course to her, just reading and watching her become. It was for me, of course, for her, but it was for me because I needed to remember the truth. I needed to know the truth. I needed to hold on to the truth just like I need it now. I need it now. Of course, I was tempted to call in and say, Lynn, I don't know if I can do this morning. And I said, you know what? This is the place I need to be. This is where my family hangs out. This is where I needed to be. I appreciate you all being here today. The course teaches, Dr. Holmes continues, there is a power which flows out through your words of faith. There is a law of faith which has the power to bring into your life everything you need, which goes back to what Glorian read. Everything we need is what we have. And all that other stuff, they're wants. We think we should have this. We think that a person should live beyond us. I always said I don't want to live a physically long life because I don't want to be quote quote the last to go. But when I go, I'll be the last to go. I won't know about whatever happens after me. Um, and I agree with you, Lynn. Hope is not trust. Hope is not trust. It's the opposite of trust. I agree with that. Hope is not trust. Right there. And Glorian writes, the peace and bliss that comes over you is beyond words. The peace of God is always beyond words. Thank you for that, Lynn. The peace is beyond words. It's not, the Course teaches that peace is part of me. The peace is part of me. I am peace. We are peace. My sister is peace. And I don't know if, as I'm saying that, I'm just saying I'm not planning what to say. I was just going to say I don't know if she'll be able to hear that, but I don't know if I'm going to be saying that. I have no idea. I'm just going to go see my sister. That's my plan, to go see my sister. There's a law of faith which has the power to bring into our lives everything we need. And the Course teaches, have faith in only this one thing, and it will be sufficient. God wills you, me, us to be in heaven, which is where we are, because the Course teaches that the kingdom of heaven is me. The kingdom of heaven is you. God wills me to be exactly where I am. God wills me to be what I am, and nothing can keep me from it or it from me. It's impossible. I can't separate my capital S self from my capital S self. I cannot, because ideas don't leave their source. I am what God is. We are what God is. It all is what God is. And in the Bible, again in Matthew, it says, according to thy faith be it done unto you. That comes up often in religious science. It is done unto you as you believe. It is done unto you as you believe. It is done unto you as you believe. And the Course says the same thing. It says, first, we're in here believing whatever, and then we see that outside. We project that outside. It is done unto us as we believe. Emmett Fox calls it the mental equivalent. Thomas Troward calls it the spiritual prototype. As above, so below. I think who wrote that? I think that was James Allen. As above, so below. What the thoughts we think are coming from inside, not from outside. We are in the case of being given this information about my sister, which, by the way, I had already thought when I went to see her. My nephew and I see your hand, Gloria. My nephew and I were talking, and I said to him, I said, nephew, which is what I call my nephew's nephew. Um, I I feel that this is her last home. And he says, no, I don't think so. He says, basically, it was, he said the doctors say that they believe that she's going to go into remission because she's still so strong, and I'm believing that too, and that she's going to go home and this, that, and the other. And he's, just going on and on. And I didn't say anything because I had already said what I needed to say, what I wanted to say, and what I thought I believed. And then I decided to go along with that way of thinking as well, which brings me to where I am today. Yes, Gloria.
Yeah, thank you. I just, when you were speaking, it was coming to me something that Dove and Sharon and Lori were talking about this morning. I was listening in on Pal Talk, and they were talking about sacrifice. And Lynn looked up how many times it is in the Course. I'm not sure if it was over 100 times. And ultimately, what we always are sacrificing, when we really look at it, is our identity as the Christ, who we really are in favor of identifying with the grievance, the body. So again, we come back to that's always the choice. And I love the workbook lesson. I gladly make the sacrifice of fear. And I've found that whenever somebody's in judgment of whether or not it's, eating meat or whatever it is, taking medicine. If you really read that lesson, I gladly make the sacrifice of fear. We're giving up everything that we seemingly see here as a projection of the ego mindset in favor of accepting the truth that I am omnipresence of God. And that's the only thing we're always sacrificing is our identity as the Christ. Thanks.
Thank you. That's workbook lesson 323. And the word sacrifice appears, I believe it was 217 times in the course. I gladly make the sacrifice appear. And it begins, here is the only, quote, sacrifice you ask of your beloved son. You ask him to give up all suffering, all sense of loss and sadness, all anxiety and doubt, and freely let your love come streaming in to his awareness, healing him of pain and giving him your own eternal joy. Such is the, quote, sacrifice you ask of me, and one I gladly make, the only, quote, cost of restoration of your memory to me for the salvation of the world. Sacrifice isn't even real. When I came to understand that, sacrifice is saying this for that. And this for that is an ego thought system because the ego compares. This for that. I'm giving up this for that. I'm giving up nothing. I'm giving up nothing. I'm strictly just living my life. That's it. I'm just living my life, whatever that is. And if I choose to do this, then that's the choice I make. I've sacrificed nothing. That's just a choice I make. Period. No, we call it, I could have, which is a distortion of illusion, of a distortion of a reality. I could have done this, but I did this instead. But decisions are continuous. We're always making a decision and we're always deciding one way or another. That lesson continues, and as we pay the debt we owe to truth, a debt that merely is the letting go of self-deceptions and of images we worshipped falsely, truth returns to us in wholeness and in joy. We are deceived no longer. Love has now returned to our awareness, and we are at peace again. For fear has gone, and only love remains. Thank you for that, Gloria. And that's workbook lesson 323. I gladly make the, quote, sacrifice of fear. Emma Curtis Hopkins writes, we call a firm faith, we call a firm mind faith. He who shows firmness in the midst of surging miseries solidifies a firm character. And that is basically that in the midst of all this stuff I am physically seeing, that I am physically experiencing, what I'm calling pain and what I'm calling grief and what I'm I don't call it loss. I do not. I'm not that person that says, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss." I'm not that person. I'm not, because I don't see it as a loss. I really don't. As I said, what I have is all these wonderful memories. I believe it's chapter 5, section 4, chapter 5, section 4, paragraph 8, 548, which corresponds to the year my mother was passing. It says all of your past. Only thing that's left is the beauty. All that other stuff is gone. That's all that's left, and that's all I've got to hold on to. That's all I have. And once, I mean, who's to say my body can stop before hers? Just saying. But whenever either of those happens, everything that has been is what was. The good parts I can hold on and bring with me, and I can let the rest go because I can't make up stuff. If this happened and then what if and what we could have done and what we should have done. I gave up on that stuff some years ago. I gave up on that years ago, realizing that first of all, it's an impossibility, and it's just all made up stuff. Uh, Solidifying a firm character. That's holding on to my faith, holding on to what I know is true. Holding on to what I know is true, is that ideas don't leave their source, that spirit always is. Spirit is always, it lives forever. It cannot die. It was never born. Einstein calls it energy, whatever. It is. It simply is. And that I lose nothing. And from the Course, if you but see the little spark, you will learn of the greater light. For the rays are there unseen. That's capital R rays for those who aren't in the room. Perceiving the spark will heal, but knowing the light will create. Yet, in the returning, the little light must be acknowledged first, for the separation was a descent from magnitude to littleness. Back to that. Believing in the smallness, believing when my sister said to me, I'm dying. In the moment that she said it, and this is just as I'm saying this now that I'm realizing, in the moment that she said it, it was my sister. It was everything about her. And in this moment, I realized that my sister is not dying. Her body, like all of our bodies, has to cease. Has to cease. But in that moment that she said that, I forgot. I forgot that she's not her body. I forgot. At this moment, I get it. I get that her magnitude is spirit, that her magnitude is life, that her magnitude is what I am, that her magnitude is everything, that my magnitude, our magnitude is everything. And that I won't be able to pick up the phone and call her, and I won't be able to pick up the phone and call her. I can still call her. And I'll always hear her voice. And as long as I have memory, that can't die. That'll never die. The Course continues, but the spark is still as pure as the great light. Because it is the remaining call of creation. And we're being asked, put all your faith in it. Put all your faith in it. Put all your faith in it. And God himself will answer you. Because the answer is always there. God is always there. I can see peace instead of this. I can see peace. And my plan, my intention, what I want to do is go take the peace to my sister. Before my sister Elena passed, I was having some issues to the point that I couldn't go see her because I would not have been in integrity. I couldn't. I had some grievances about that. I had some grudges and some stuff I was holding on to. And I went and spoke to two practitioners, not one, because I'm that person. I needed another one. I had to speak with two practitioners simultaneously, actually, at the center the Sunday before I actually went. I was supposed to go the week before, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I had to get grounded in my truth. I couldn't go up there as an unhealed healer. Couldn't go see her as an unhealed healer. I'm feeling that today. I'm saying that out loud today because that's something I need to be able to do comfortably, knowing the truth, staying in the truth, holding on to the truth, because it's only the truth I want to take to her. Whatever words come, if no words come, I need to be the light. I need to let my light shine. I need for my sister to feel that light if it's at all possible. Because of course that's up to her. As I read earlier, it is as much as we're willing to accept. It's as much as we're willing to accept. So I'm going to put all my faith in it and let God speak. Let the Spirit let this, as the song goes, let the Spirit run my life. I release and let go. Let the Spirit run my life. The last quote that I have no idea what time it is. I'm going to read this last quote and then I'll read something from somewhere else. From Christian Larson. Again, he says, when you think of yourself or anyone, do not think of that part of yourself that appears on the surface. when I think of my sister, I'm not to think of the part that appears on the surface. That part is the smaller part, and the lesser should not be pictured in mind. The Course says beyond the body, beyond the body. Think of yourself larger, think of your larger self, the magnanimous self, the Course says, the immense subconscious self that is limitless, both in power and in possibility. Okay, Regis, I see your hand. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, that was premature. Finish reading.
Okay.
And
You read
then
all,
after you finish reading.
you read all the way through, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself, but not simply in a part of yourself. Believe in yourself, but not simply in a part of yourself. Because to believe in part is focusing on the ego, because the ego has parts. Believe in yourself, but not simply in a part of yourself. Give constant recognition to all that is in you. We're talking spirit here, the life that we are, the heaven that we are, the kingdom that we are, the truth that we are, the God that we are. Give constant recognition to all that is in you. And in that, all that, and in that all, have faith and confidence. Give the bigger being on the inside full right of way. Let spirit have its way. Just let spirit have its way. The Course teaches that the Holy Spirit asks that we act as though we're not an ego. We're reminded that only our acknowledgement, not acknowledgement, only our, can't think of the word now, it's an A word, that we give to the ego, giving acknowledgement to it makes it real, but that's not the word. I'm misquoting that. Allegiance, that only our allegiance to the ego gives it power. We're asked to do exactly the opposite of that. Give the bigger being of the inside full right of way. Believe thoroughly in your greater interior self. I could put a capital S there and you know what I'm talking about. Believe in your actual self, your real self, your true self, because anything else is not real. It's just made up. Know that you have something within you that is greater than any obstacle, circumstance, or difficulty that you can possibly meet. I need to be reminded of that in this moment, that there is something within me, that there is life within me, that there is God within me, that the God that is me, that is greater than anything I can see outside here. Anything I can see. Then in the full faith then in the full faith in this greater something, proceed with your work. That's what I have to take with me to New York. Proceed with your work. When you think of yourself and anything and anybody else, do not think of that part of you, yourself, them that appears on the surface. Regis, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Zulma. And thanks for remembering my words earlier because I'm holding up my laptop, that photo behind my head on the wall, that is a copy of Christian D. Lawson that you was reading. And so it's framed and beautifully framed and a nice print. And that's above my head. Now, but as you was reading it, I'm so glad you remember my words, because sometimes I realize, I don't have to say anything. I just send it to her, or I send people the message. I don't always have to verbally tell them the message. Because I was thinking, there's a time and season for every emotion, and don't resist the season. Okay, because as you was reading, I was saying, F Christian D. Lawson. And it wasn't forget. Now the Course says forget this course, but I wasn't using the word forget. And so, I'm always gonna be in left field. Because we talking about loss. You talked about having to pay $100 and some ticket. And even before you paid the ticket, you was feeling the loss. You was feeling the money going out your bank account. we're still talking about loss, you know, and let it be. The course, what's more important is your peace and happiness. Sometimes your grieving and your sadness is your happy place. You don't need to take anything to New York. You are love. You can't take anything but love. You can't take anything but truth. We're still looking at, if you cry, if you walk in her room and fall down on your knees and sob, that's what's needed for that moment. You can only be what you need to be is truth. You don't need to be some version of love, some airy-fairy idea of how you should be in this moment. And I hate when we do that with the Course in Miracles. Everything that Christian D is talking about, everything that the Course is talking about, I need do nothing. I don't need to mold and twist myself into some version of happiness. I don't need to do that. I still think it sucks that Carlton Demetrius Pearson died and is not here. I still don't like it. And I let myself not like it. I'm happy. I appear to be happy most of the time, and I am. It's not a game. It's not an act. It's not me trying to contort myself into what happiness should look like. But I still think it sucks. And he prepared his death. He turned people over to his website. Now someone else is controlling his Facebook, where he used to do live Facebook talks. And this other guy in Atlanta, and I get the pop up that they's going live and he's trying to carry the message of Carlton Pearson. And I'm like, man, this sucks. I don't want to hear this from you. I let myself be that, you know. It's like Carlton should be on here. I don't want to hear this from you. I don't need you to recant his message. I know his message. I don't want to hear that from you. I want to hear it from Carlton. You know, but I'm not trying to contort. So even with money, so we get a big shock about money, because my wife and I was talking about this yesterday, because she's got a big attachment to her money, because for a long time she didn't have it. Now that she have it, she has a big fear of losing it. So every time there's a big bill that pops up out of nowhere, she goes left field. And but you let the emotions come, and then you let the emotions teach. It's not our job to try to say, oh, here's an emotion, and I need to teach myself about the emotion and what the emotion is trying to teach me. No, you just let the emotions be. You let it marinate. You let it be. And then the teaching comes on its own. Everything that Christian D is saying, everything that the Course is saying, it comes up on its own. I don't have to take the Course and force it into my situation right here, right now, and make myself believe it, feel it. It's just more misery. The rest, the peace is in, it's okay that I think it sucks. It's okay that I don't want him to be gone. I don't want him to die. The night Carlton Pearson died, I knew it. I got a pop-up, and it said Carlton Pearson has transition, blah, 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 whatever. I didn't click on it. I went to bed. It was like 11 something at night on a Sunday night. So the next day, my wife said, did you know Carlton Pearson passed? I said, yeah, I knew it. But that night, I didn't say nothing to her. I didn't say nothing. I didn't even click on it. It's like, I don't want him to be gone. You know, and I just let myself feel that way. I allowed myself to think it sucks. You know, I don't even want to open it. I don't want to read it. I don't want to see any YouTube about it. I don't want this, you know, not in a hostile, not wanting way, but just, you know, I don't like this. And it's okay that I don't like it. I welcome myself not liking it. I allow myself to not like it. I allow myself to be angry or be whatever. So forget this course. If this course is not bringing you peace right now, what's bringing you peace right now is to grieve. But what's bringing you angst and what's bringing you discomfort is trying not to grieve, trying to be something else, but be what you are right now. And be what you are when you arrive in New York. You can't not be but love. And I said this in a group the other day, and I'll shut up. Sometimes I think mighty companions fear that they're going to become sociopaths if they just let themselves be. When I let myself be, all Regis want to do is be happy and make those around him happy and smile. All Regis really want to do is bless. That's all Regis want to do. That's whatever this beyond this Regis personality. I am not going to become a sociopath by allowing myself to be, because all I am is love. When I get out of the way and get all of my rules and regulations and what the course saying, and I'm trying to contort myself into the course or some other teacher, just step back, as Gloria always says, and I see her hand up, step back and let him lead the way. You can put that on Gloria's tombstone. Duh. And she won't have a tombstone. But, you know, just let it be. And all of the teaching, the truth of the teachings, the essence of the teachings will come up on its own. It will manifest on its own when we just step back and let him lead the way. Not forcing ourselves, oh, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't feel loss. I shouldn't feel grief. I should feel happy. I should feel peace. I should see the truth of who she is. No, I see her body, and I see that I won't be able to see it, touch it, feel it, hug it, and I don't like it. And that's okay that I don't like it. I'm not a poor student because I don't like it. I'm not a poor Christian because I don't like it. I'm not a bad mighty companion because I don't like it. Because I don't like it. I don't feel good. I'm still the beloved child of God in whom he is well pleased. The end. And it's not performance based. I don't have to perform. God loves me perfectly, wholly, completely. And I will shut my mouth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I receive that. And I know it's the truth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Gloria.
Well, I second all of that. And it could have been coming out of my mouth. I totally agree with all of that. And we come to that place of gentleness. We have to be gentle with ourselves. And where we are is perfect. And we're not here to deny or repress feelings. We just recognize that those feelings are a gift and an opportunity. And it shows us what we think so that we can process it. This is a process. This is the atonement process. And if anyone was totally self-realized without having any attachment to the grievance of the body at any time, we wouldn't be here. Total forgiveness, we disappear. So we come to that place where we recognize that we must be gentle with ourselves, and it's always perfect, and it's all a gift. And I'm going to say this was a gift to me this morning, that everything is so perfect, because my my father's 4th anniversary of his transition is on Saturday. And as Regis was saying, it sucks. And the day before Mother's Day, and it was right around Mother's Day and my mother's birthday, and she was dying at the same time. So it brings all that up. And then we recognize, I see only the past. So is it helpful for me to say, no, I don't miss my father because no, absolutely not. I certainly do miss my father. I happen to have a very good relationship with my father. And then I process that and I recognize the love that we shared is carried with me. And then I extend that to others. And I just want to say quickly one more thing. When I was in the hospital, and I kind of, especially when I was in the ICU, I was like, I don't want anyone to come see me, da, 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 da. Some people honored that. Some people did not honor that. And when they came in, there were a few people, like one of my cousins, who were crying, visibly crying, whatever. And that was okay to me. That was their way of expressing. And you see people coming in there, I mean, it was shocking for them. I mean, in 1 month, I looked like a 98-year-old woman and total disaster tubes everywhere. And it's shocking. And to me, it was okay because I wanted them to be who they were. And I saw some people and they're trying to choke it up and whatever. And I'm like, I don't want that. Be who you are. I know this is shocking and whatever. So I think, looking at it from that end, whatever you do when you visit Marie in the hospital is perfect. Be you. She wants you to be you. And you always are perfect. And thank you so much, all of you and both of you, Regis and Zulma. Just so happy that we're mighty companions walking home together. And I love you all so much.
Thank you, Gloria. Go ahead, Lori.
Thanks. I just wanted to say real quickly that when I came back from Mexico last year and Rod was dying and my former partner, and he couldn't move and he couldn't speak, and I came on my time on Monday morning, and I said, I don't know if I can ever come back. I don't believe this anymore. I don't want to hear your platitudes. And I was falling apart. And Regis is nodding his head. And you guys were all just so wonderful. You just said, have it, just be human. Don't worry about it. Just fall apart. And with that permission, and then Lynn put something on the board, Lynn and Karen, about there must be still another lesson. And that was when I was like, okay, all right. But I had to fall apart. I was pissed. I was mad. I tried not to swear, but at home I was swearing like F this SHIT, I hate this world and I don't believe any of this anymore. So anyway, I'm glad you're receiving all of this, Zulma. And thanks for sharing so much. Okay, I'm done.
Y'all, yeah, I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so, so, so much. When Jelly, I call her Jelly, her name is Maria, as Gloria knows, but when I first found out that Jelly was going to the hospital, that she had bone cancer, I did. I fell apart, and I was okay with falling apart. And I called my nephew, and I fell apart on the phone with him, and he was trying to console me. And it's interesting, as you all are saying this, I didn't want to be consoled. I wanted to cry. I wanted to feel. I wanted to hurt. I wanted to. So I hear that cancer is about something eating at you. If Louise Hay says it's something eating at you. And if that's the case, I'm not going to be the one. That's not. That's if that's so. Cancer is not going to be it with me. I don't let it eat at me. I appreciate I really do appreciate you, Regis. Thank you so much. I too felt that way when Carlton Pearson died. And anyone who doesn't know who Carlton Pearson is, if you can, on Netflix, see the movie Come Sunday. And I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore. Come Sunday, phenomenal movie. That's how I learned about Carlton Pearson. Come Sunday, great movie about Carlton Pearson. I was watching, that on Facebook as well, Regis, and I kept saying, "Damn it, damn it, damn it!" You know, I was there, I was there. Anyway, so but so as my nephew was attempting to be consoling, and I was not to be consoled because I needed to feel what I was feeling. I'm gonna feel what I'm feeling, and now, um, Debbie is the one. Debbie, my friend Debbie, is the one who calls me, texts me, and tells me everything because he won't do it, and whatever, whatever. I'm letting myself feel it, and I thank you. I thank you all. I thank you all. I thank you all for letting me be me. I thank you all for sharing my grief with me. Uh, Jelly, I was 21, and four of my, three of my sisters and I were at my uncle's funeral, my father's uncle's funeral. And Jelly, she was always the one. she 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 was a cream puff, but she could say stuff out of her mouth sometimes. I would just shake my head. I would just shake my head. Anyway, she says to me, she says, "Well," in her New York way, "Don't forget you're my baby sister, and I'll kick your ass." Kick your ass, she said. And I looked at her. I'm 21, no longer the baby. I'm the youngest girl, but I'm not the baby. It was not a baby. And I looked at her, her tall, lean. So we don't look anything alike. She's tall and lean. I'm short and this body right here. And uh, and I calmly said to her, "What the F you think I'm gonna do while you trying to kick my ass?" And that was the last time she ever stepped out of line talking to me again. She knew that she had met her match. And and it was shortly thereafter that she became my favorite sister, Jelly, her crazy ass. She became my favorite sister. And I remember jumping on the bus to New York and going and spending a day because she was lively. She liked to loved to dance. Oh my God, loved to dance. Um, and she loved being out and around. And she like my mommy, like mommy, she liked the lights. Mommy liked the lights. She liked the lights and she liked the whole New York thing. And we went to some mall and we sat outside and we ate and we laughed. Jelly has always been the one about family. And so I'm my mother's only child. My father had a slew of children. My daddy had 17 children. 17. Yeah. There were 15 girls, two boys. I'm the youngest girl. There's one under me. He stopped because he wanted another boy. So, um, like Jelly and my sister Isabel, who passed back in 2004, were the ones who always kept in touch. Because I had to find, reach out for them. Daddy used to, grab them. They all lived in New York, and he would grab a bunch of them and bring them to Philly, and mommy would go right to the kitchen and start cooking. But I was still a little one, but this is how I got to meet a lot of my siblings. And but was always the one who continued to stay in touch. Her and Isabel always stayed in touch. Um, she was always about family, always about family. We met twin nephews during COVID, and Jelly came out. She came out. We could, she caught the, whatever, however they were doing public transportation in New York during the COVID time. I caught the mega bus during COVID time. Went and hung out with her and with them, and it was phenomenal. And interestingly enough, one of those two, this was 2020, but one of those two nephews who lives in Queens is the one who has been there for her. Because remember, her son, the nephew, lives in Texas, and he has been there throughout. We never known anything is for. We never known anything is for. But I have a photograph of the day we met them. And we had gone to this one nephew's house. There's a picture of him. She's sitting in a recliner, and he's standing there looking at her, and I could see it. I could see it in that picture. The 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 admiration, the respect, the love. And he's not the type that, he's not the I love you. He's not the type to say it. He's just not that guy. But he's the type that shows it all the time. And he's the one, he's the spokesperson for her. He's the one who has been there. He'll be the one who'll take her to Texas if that happens. My sister Jelly, and they call her Jelly because she said that when she was a baby, she was stocky. Can't see that tall, lanky woman now. And I still call her Jelly. And that's just who she is to me. I so appreciate y'all. I so appreciate y'all. I had no place. I had no place to express this. I had no place. I appreciate y'all, family. I really do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna play a song. I want to play a song. This is by NDRE. And it's titled Give Thanks. Go back to share screen. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, family. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate y'all. NDRE, give thanks.
Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks for all that is. Give praise, give praise, give praise, give praise. Give praise for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give praise now. Selah, Selah, Selah. Selah, Selah, for all that is. Ashe, 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 for all that is. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give praise now. Hallelujah, 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 for all that is. Namaste, 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 for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day. So let's give praise now. We give praise and our shame. Selah, namaste. We give praise for all that is.
And with that, Lynn, I turn the mic over to you. Thank you all, family. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zoma. We are blessing you, blessing your family. And wow, your strength is a wonder. I love you.